Chosen one, you are not here by accident. You've been pulled into this moment by divine appointment, by spiritual timing so precise that even the heavens themselves are echoing your name. Tonight, under the December 3rd supermoon, the veil is thin, the atmosphere is charged, and the realm of the unseen is leaning toward you. Anointed one, you are standing at the very edge of a supernatural financial breakthrough, a divine wealth transfer that has been waiting for the exact moment your spirit was ready to receive it. As it is written, lift up your eyes, for your redemption draws near. And tonight, that redemption comes in the form of revelation, alignment, and heavenly acceleration. This is no ordinary night. This is a prophetic crossing, a spiritual threshold, a cosmic summons designed for those who have been chosen, refined, and prepared. If you feel your heart stirring, if your spirit feels awakened, it's because heaven is confirming what your soul already knows. Something is shifting in your favor. Chosen one, breathe deeply. You are stepping into a night where miracles move quickly, where destiny rearranges itself, and where the hand of God writes new chapters in real time. The supermoon is not just in the sky, it is speaking directly to you. Chosen one, if you've been feeling the weight of this week pressing against your spirit, it's not your imagination. Something holy has been stirring in the atmosphere, something ancient and divine. And if you're watching this right now, it's because heaven has aligned your steps for a moment such as this. The December 3rd supermoon is not just a celestial event, it is a spiritual announcement, a summons, a signal that the anointed ones are being awakened, repositioned, and prepared for a supernatural shift. Chosen one, have you noticed it? The heaviness in the air, the sudden waves of emotion that come out of nowhere, moments where time feels strange, either racing ahead or pausing long enough for your spirit to hear something your mind almost misses. I felt it too. In fact, earlier this week, I woke up at 3:33 inches the morning, heart beating fast, not in fear, but in recognition. It felt like someone had gently shaken my soul awake, and deep inside, I heard something whisper, "Pay attention, anointed one." Many across the world are feeling the same pull. Sleepless nights, vivid dreams, sudden memories resurfacing, a strange sensitivity to people's emotions. Even nature is responding. Animals looking toward the sky, birds shifting their patterns, the earth's own energetic rhythms rising and falling in perfect timing with the moon's approach. This is what happens when heaven begins to recalibrate destinies. You see, when God prepares to elevate someone, he often stirs their spirit first. He disrupts the ordinary. He shakes loose old energies, old fears, old limitations. And this week, if you've been feeling unsteady, emotional, or unusually alert, it's because the old version of you is being peeled away. Something new is trying to rise. I've experienced it myself. There have been seasons where the spiritual pressure felt almost unbearable, where I questioned why everything felt so intense. But looking back, every time that pressure came, breakthrough followed, promotion followed, favor followed. The shaking was never punishment, it was preparation. And chosen one, that is what is happening in you right now. The December 3rd supermoon is acting like a spiritual amplifier, magnifying whatever you carry inside. If you're grounded in faith, you may feel clearer, more connected, more awakened than ever before. But if there are wounds you've buried, emotions you've avoided, decisions you've postponed, the light of this moment is bringing them to the surface, not to overwhelm you, but to free you. The ancients used to say, "When the heavens shift, so does the destiny of the one who is aligned." And tonight, alignment is everything. This is the first stirring, the first miracle, the awakening of your inner light. Not the light you show the world, but the light that God placed inside you before you were born. And chosen one, that light is rising again. Chosen one, Now that your spirit has begun to awaken, we must go deeper, because what you've been feeling is not random, and it is not emotional chaos. It is the undeniable evidence that heaven is drawing near, reshaping, reordering, and recalibrating the very path beneath your feet. When a divine shift is underway, the soul senses it long before the mind understands it. Anointed One, this is why your emotions have been unpredictable. One moment you feel inspired, the next moment you feel drained. 1 hour you feel hopeful, the next hour you feel overwhelmed. This is the tension of transformation. This is the stretching of the soul when destiny starts to rearrange itself. I've lived through this more times than I can count, and every single time, right before a major breakthrough, life felt strangely unfamiliar, like I was standing between two worlds, no longer who I was, but not yet who I was becoming. That's exactly where you are right now. And the supermoon is intensifying it, not to harm you, but to reveal you, to highlight the parts of you that are ready to rise, and the parts that can no longer go where God is taking you. When light increases, shadows show, not as threats, but as opportunities for release. This is why old fears have resurfaced. This is why buried memories keep floating back. This is why situations you thought you healed suddenly feel fresh again. It's not regression, it's purification. Chosen One, listen. When God is about to elevate a person, He confronts what has held them back. This is heaven's way of clearing your path. Every heavy thought, every sudden emotion, every unfamiliar sensation, it is the old energy being flushed out of your spirit, like a deep cleansing, like a spiritual detox. The supermoon is simply amplifying the process that heaven already began. And here's the prophetic truth. What you are feeling is the first evidence that a supernatural transfer is drawing near. Divine wealth, unexpected opportunities, unusual favor, uncommon acceleration. But before those blessings arrive, your spirit must be aligned, steady, clean, and open. The shaking is not to break you, it is to prepare you to receive. Anointed One, I need to tell you something personal. Years ago, right before I stepped into a blessing that changed my life, everything felt like it was falling apart. My sleep was restless. My emotions swung wildly. I felt pressure I couldn't explain. At the time, I thought something was wrong. But now I see everything was being rewritten. My old identity was dissolving. My old fears were dying. Heaven was clearing space inside me for what was coming. And the same thing is happening to you now, Chosen One. The pressure is a sign that the promise is near. The stirring is proof that the shift is underway. And what you're feeling in your body, mind, and spirit is the confirmation that you are stepping into the first of the 7 miracles, the awakening of who you truly are. Chosen One, now that your inner awakening has begun, we enter the next dimension of this prophetic moment, the rising of your spiritual sensitivity. Because when heaven draws near, the veil between what is seen and unseen becomes thinner, and those who are aligned begin to perceive things others overlook. If you've been feeling things before they happen, sensing people's intentions instantly, or experiencing chills for no logical reason, that is not coincidence, that is activation. Anointed One, your discernment is sharpening. Your intuition of the whisper of God in your spirit is becoming louder. And for many chosen ones around the world, this week has felt like walking with an invisible hand guiding every step. Some have felt watched, but not with fear, with protection. Some have felt a presence beside them, in quiet rooms. Some have heard their name internally, almost like a call that comes from the inside out. These are signs of divine nearness. These are signs that your spiritual receptors are waking up. I know this feeling well. Years ago, when I was stepping into one of the greatest breakthroughs of my life, my senses felt amplified. I could walk into a room and instantly feel the atmosphere shift. I could sense intentions that people had not spoken. I could feel when God was telling me, wait or move. Back then, I didn't understand the fullness of it, but now I recognize it for what it was: preparation. Heaven was training my spirit for the elevation ahead. Chosen one, that same training is happening to you right now. If time has felt strange, moments repeating, seconds stretching, or days feeling both long and fast, you're experiencing spiritual alignment. Your inner world is syncing with heavenly timing. And when your timeline merges with God's timing, everything that once seemed random begins to make sense. This is why you've been seeing repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 333. Not as superstition, but as divine nudges, heavenly signals, subtle reminders that the supernatural is breaking into the natural. When I first started seeing these patterns in the middle of difficult seasons, I didn't understand them, but looking back, every sequence appeared right before a breakthrough, right before a promotion, right before a divine connection entered my life. And now, chosen one, those same signs have begun appearing for you, because your destiny is shifting. This week's restlessness, the sudden bursts of emotion, the vivid dreams, the moments that feel eerily familiar, these are all indicators that your spirit is crossing into a new realm of awareness. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking. You are awakening. The supermoon is acting like a spiritual spotlight, illuminating the parts of your soul that heaven has chosen for activation. Old gifts you ignored are resurfacing. Forgotten strengths are coming alive. Dormant abilities, prophetic intuition, discernment, spiritual clarity are being stirred. And the more aware you become, the more aligned you grow. Chosen one, what you're feeling is not the end of something. It is the beginning. A divine initiation into the next miracle. The unlocking of supernatural wisdom. Chosen one, as your spiritual awakening deepens, you may have noticed something unusual rising within you. Memories you thought were gone, emotions you believed were healed, and people you never expected to think about again, suddenly reappearing in your mind. Anointed one, this is not a setback, and it is not your spirit breaking down. This is divine timing, doing what divine timing does, bringing to the surface anything that cannot follow you into your next season. When heaven prepares to elevate you, it begins by cleansing you. It exposes the hidden weight in your soul so that nothing slows you down in the chapter you are about to enter. I know this experience intimately. In every major turning point of my life, before a financial breakthrough, before supernatural favor, before God opened a door I never imagined, there was always a moment where the past rose up like a final wave. Old conversations I never resolved, faces I thought I had forgotten, wounds I thought had healed, all of them resurfaced. Back then, I thought something was wrong with me. But now I understand. Heaven wasn't trying to pull me backward, it was freeing me forward. And chosen one, that same process is unfolding inside you right now. If someone you once loved or feared appeared suddenly in your dreams, if a name from your past has crossed your spirit with no explanation, if a forgotten memory returned with surprising clarity, this is not emotional chaos. This is divine release. Heaven is placing its hand on the last closed doors of your soul and saying, this one must be sealed permanently. The supermoon amplifies this moment, acting like a holy spotlight, revealing the final fragments of your old identity. Not every memory comes back to wound you. Some return to show you how much you've grown. Not every person reappears in your thoughts to tempt you. Some are reminders of versions of yourself you've outgrown. And not every emotion that rises is pain. Sometimes it is simply your spirit exhaling what it no longer needs. Anointed one, you are being asked a sacred question. Will you carry the old energy into your new destiny, or will you let heaven clean the last corners of your heart. This is not about revisiting the past. It is about releasing it. It is about choosing peace instead of repeating cycles. It is about acknowledging what happened without allowing it to define what comes next. The past is not returning to reclaim you. It is returning so you can finally walk free of it. In this moment, you are choosing between timelines, who you were and who heaven is calling you to become. And as you release, as you surrender, as you breathe through the memories instead of resisting them, you create space for the next miracle to rise. The emergence of your divine identity, the version of you that has always been chosen, anointed, and destined to ascend. Chosen one, as you step beyond the cleansing of your past, something sacred is beginning to rise within you. Your true identity, the version of you that heaven crafted long before the world tried to shape you. Anointed one, this is the moment when the veil lifts and you start to see yourself not through the lens of pain or history, but through the lens of purpose. You may have noticed it already, a quiet certainty settling into your spirit, a sense that you're no longer who you used to be, even if you can't quite explain why. You feel it when you speak, your voice carries more authority. You feel it when you think, your mind refuses to entertain the fears that once consumed you. You feel it when you make choices. You no longer chase what drains you. You're drawn toward what strengthens you. This is not coincidence. This is not emotional fluctuation. This is divine identity awakening. I've lived through this myself. Before one of the greatest promotions of my life, there was a season where everything familiar felt like it was shrinking. Relationships that once felt comfortable suddenly felt misaligned. Dreams that once seemed impossible began to feel attainable. And the person I saw in the mirror no longer matched the person I felt rising inside me. I didn't realize it then, but heaven was preparing me, shaping me, positioning me for something far greater than I could imagine. That same reshaping is happening to you now. Chosen one, this version of you is stronger, quieter in spirit, yet louder in purpose. This version of you doesn't beg for acceptance. You carry presence. You don't chase validation. You walk in conviction. You don't shrink yourself to fit old spaces. You outgrow them with grace and without apology. The divine identity rising in you is not new. It is ancient. It is the part of you God protected through every storm, every heartbreak, every setback. And now, for the first time in a very long time, it is stepping into the light. This matters because heaven responds to identity. When you see yourself as wounded, you attract battles. But when you see yourself as chosen, favored, appointed, you begin to attract opportunities, connections, and blessings that align with your calling. Anointed one. This is why things have been shifting so quickly. Heaven is accelerating your growth because the next miracle requires you to stand in who you truly are. This rise in identity is the foundation of supernatural favor. It is the soil where divine wealth, spiritual authority, and destiny-level opportunities begin to grow. The supermoon is amplifying this shift, illuminating the heavenly blueprint inside you, the blueprint of the person you were always meant to become. So embrace this transformation, honor it, walk in it. You are not becoming stronger, you are remembering your strength. You are not changing, you are emerging. The next miracle belongs to those who know who they are. And Chosen One, heaven is declaring that you finally do. Chosen One, now that your divine identity has awakened, heaven is beginning to shift the atmosphere around you. This isn't an emotional phase or a temporary burst of motivation. It is spiritual alignment. When heaven aligns you internally, it begins aligning everything externally. That's why the spaces, people, and routines that once felt comfortable may now feel unfamiliar. Your spirit is being tuned to a higher frequency, and anything that doesn't match that frequency will naturally fall away. Anointed one, You may have noticed subtle signs that your path is being guided more intentionally than before. Opportunities that once required effort are suddenly opening with ease. Conversations that seemed accidental are carrying unusual significance. A delay here, a reroute there. Nothing has been random. Heaven has been orchestrating every detail, nudging you away from what would drain you and toward what will elevate you. These are not coincidences. These are divine signals shaping your next steps. I've walked through seasons like this myself. I remember moments when I didn't understand why certain doors closed so abruptly, or why I lost interest in things I once prayed for. But later, I realized heaven was redirecting me to what I didn't even know I needed. And looking back now, every no, every delay, every redirection was actually protection. God was aligning me with people, ideas, and opportunities that matched the version of me I was becoming, not the version I used to be. Chosen one. This same process is unfolding over your life. If you've suddenly felt drawn to new environments, new dreams, or new people, it's because your spirit recognizes a future that your mind hasn't fully understood yet. If you've lost appetite for meaningless conversations or toxic relationships, it's because your soul refuses to shrink to old levels. Heaven is pulling you toward places where your purpose can breathe, where your anointing can expand, and where your destiny can accelerate. This is why your intuition has become louder lately. You feel things faster. You sense shifts before they happen. You know when something is for you and when something isn't. Your discernment has sharpened because heaven is preparing you to navigate a season of acceleration. When identity and alignment meet, momentum is inevitable. Things begin to move quickly and effortlessly. Under this supermoon energy, that momentum is amplified. Ideas flow more clearly. Decisions align more easily. You may even notice breakthroughs happening in areas that were stagnant for years. This is the nature of divine alignment. It gathers every loose thread and begins weaving your future in real time. You are being ushered toward divine appointments, kingdom connections, and supernatural opportunities that were always meant for you. Anointed one, understand this. You are no longer walking by coincidence. You are walking by calling. Every step you take now carries purpose. Every choice you make carries authority. Every intuitive nudge is a tactic from heaven, guiding you toward the next miracle reserved for you. The shifts around you are not random. They are prophetic. You are being positioned. You are being prepared. You are being promoted in the spirit before you are promoted in the natural. And all of this alignment is leading you toward the next unfolding miracle. The unlocking of supernatural provision, divine supply, and heaven-backed abundance that flows only to those who have aligned with their calling. Chosen one, now that heaven has aligned your path and accelerated your steps, you are entering a sacred moment, one of the most profound transitions in the entire sequence of miracles. The unlocking of supernatural provision. This is not ordinary provision. This is not the kind that comes through effort alone. This is divine supply, heaven-endorsed abundance, and supernatural favor that flows to those who have been spiritually prepared, purified, and positioned. Anointed one, if you have felt financial pressure, unexpected expenses, or moments of uncertainty in the past months, know this. Those were not signs of lack, they were indicators of spiritual restructuring. Heaven often disrupts earthly resources to push you into heavenly dependence. When God is preparing to release supernatural provision, He first removes reliance on unstable sources. He does this so the blessings that come next cannot be mistaken for human effort. They can only be recognized as divine intervention. I remember a season in my own life where the resources I depended on suddenly dissolved. It felt frustrating, even frightening, until I realized heaven was clearing space. I didn't know it then, but a door of provision was about to open that I could never have engineered on my own. Within weeks, Unexpected opportunities, unexpected income, unexpected support began to flow in ways I still can't fully explain. It was as if heaven had been holding something back, waiting for me to reach the place where I trusted more in God's hand than in my own plans. Chosen one, you are standing at that same threshold. You may not see it with your natural eyes yet, but your spirit has already sensed it. Something is shifting in the realm of provision. Ideas that once felt impossible are becoming viable. Doors that once stayed shut are cracking open, and the resources you need to build, expand, restore, or elevate are being assembled behind the scenes. This is not random. This is ordained. The December 3rd supermoon amplifies this miracle. It intensifies the magnetic pull between destiny and provision, drawing toward you the opportunities, finances, partnerships, and divine connections that belong to your next chapter. What once felt out of reach is now being drawn into reach. What once required force will now respond to faith. The spiritual world is moving things into position for you: contracts, approvals, conversations, deposits, and breakthroughs. Anointed one, this is the season where you must prepare your spirit to receive, not with fear, not with doubt, but with expectation. For heaven does not pour abundance into a heart that is bracing for disappointment. Heaven pours into a heart that is open, aligned, and ready. Chosen one, abundance is not coming, it is already on its way. And your readiness, your surrender, your alignment are the signals heaven has been waiting for. The next miracle is not simply about money. It is about elevation. It is about stepping into a life that reflects the identity and calling heaven placed upon you. Chosen one, as the sequence of miracles reaches its final arc, you step into the most sacred revelation of all, the activation of destiny itself. Everything you've felt, everything you've shed, everything you've survived, every shift in your spirit, and every alignment in your path has been preparing you for this precise moment. This is where heaven moves from positioning you to launching you, from preparing you to commissioning you, from refining your identity to releasing your assignment into the world. Anointed one, destiny is not a single event. It is a divine unfolding. And right now, the unfolding is accelerating. The heaviness you once carried has lifted. The confusion that clouded your steps has dissolved. The burdens that weighed on your heart have been exchanged for clarity, conviction, and a quiet, internal strength. These are signs that your spirit has entered a new frequency, one that heaven responds to with immediacy. You are no longer asking for direction. You are the direction. You are no longer waiting for permission. Heaven has already given it. There comes a moment in every chosen soul's journey where the internal work becomes external impact. And that moment, chosen one, is now. Your voice is needed in places that have grown silent. Your presence is needed in rooms that have gone dark. Your gifts are needed in lives that have been waiting unknowingly for your arrival. You carry answers someone has been praying for. You carry light someone has been searching for. You carry breakthrough someone has been crying out for. Destiny is no longer about you alone. It is about the people who will rise because you finally did. I have learned through my own valleys and mountaintops that destiny does not reveal itself when you feel ready. It reveals itself when heaven declares the time. And heaven is declaring over you, the time is now. You don't need perfection to walk in this calling. You need willingness. You don't need certainty. You need surrender. You don't need guarantees. You need faith. Destiny flows to those who stop resisting the magnitude of who they are. The December 3rd supermoon intensifies this moment, thinning the veil between your earthly identity and your heavenly assignment. It activates the courage needed to take the first step, the clarity to see beyond old limitations, and the spiritual authority to move with purpose rather than hesitation. This is heaven's final nudge, its final awakening, its final message to your spirit. Walk in what you were born for. The world may not recognize it yet, but heaven already has. Anointed One. The 7 miracles were never random manifestations of cosmic energy. They were steps leading you to the threshold of your destiny. And now, that threshold is directly in front of you. All that remains is the step. The moment you take it, heaven will respond in ways that will shock you, elevate you, and confirm everything your spirit already knows. Chosen One, rise. The destiny written over your life is no longer waiting in the distance. It is here. It is active. It is unfolding as you breathe these words. The time for hesitation has passed. The time for divine manifestation has begun. Chosen One, as we come to the end of this sacred encounter, breathe deeply and feel this truth settle into the deepest part of your spirit. You were meant to be here, not by chance, not by curiosity, not by wandering, but by divine orchestration. Heaven aligned your steps, your timing, your awareness, and even your questions, so you could receive what your soul has been waiting for. Anointed One. This December 3rd supermoon is not just an event in the sky. It is a spiritual announcement, a prophetic unveiling, a heavenly activation calling your name. You may not see all of it yet, but the shift has already begun. Something around you is rearranging. Something within you is awakening. Something ahead of you is opening. The atmosphere surrounding your destiny is moving in ways you have prayed for, cried for, and quietly hoped for when no one else knew. This is not anticipation. This is manifestation, beginning its first breath. You are standing in the early glow of a supernatural transfer. A transfer of strength, a transfer of clarity, a transfer of divine resources and spiritual authority. Chosen One. Do not question the sensations rising in your spirit. That warmth in your heart, that tingling in your hands, that sudden inner knowing, these are confirmations. Heaven is affirming you. The universe is amplifying you. Your steps are being guided with greater precision than ever before. Every moment from this point forward carries purpose. Every decision carries weight. Every intention vibrates louder in the realm of the spirit. Walk gently tonight. Walk reverently. Walk with the awareness that all of heaven is tuned toward your destiny in this exact moment. Keep your heart open, your posture surrendered, your gratitude active, for gratitude is the gateway through which the final miracle flows. And remember, heaven does not move for the hesitant, it moves for the aligned. Before you leave, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I welcome what heaven is releasing." That declaration seals the energy, anchors the blessing, and signals that you are ready for the unfolding that awaits you. If this message stirred something within you, feel free to share your experience, not as formality, but as testimony for another chosen one searching for confirmation. Go now with courage, Anointed One. Go with expectancy. Go with the quiet confidence of someone heaven has chosen, awakened, and positioned. Your destiny is already shifting, and the miracle set in motion tonight will follow you long after this video fades.